Okay. It is August 29th, 2020. 2020. 2020. 2020. Well, not even 2020. It's 2021. I'm losing it. Remember in school when after the New Year's you would continue to fuck up the year on every paper? I remember that. It's August 29th, 2021. 2021. And look at me. I have a new job starting Monday. Everyone, please clap. Please applaud for me. Please. Jesus Christ. Thank God. It turns out I'm going to be a substitute teacher starting tomorrow, which I'm really excited about. If you've listened or followed me for any amount of time, then you know how much I really disliked being an interpreter. And to be perfectly honest, I never really enjoyed it. Like it was something something I've always complained about, even since the beginning of starting it, and I just did it because money and shitty upbringing and being told money and money and money and sign language, that's cool, and money. And it's fucked up. It's not even good. Like, it's good money, but the work isn't consistent enough. You lose your job all the time. So I'm starting this new job. I'm going to be a substitute teacher, and I'm going to mold the minds of children. So get ready. 20, 30 years, they're only going to be talking about Goodfellas and fucking Tupac and Kendrick Lamar music, because that's what all I'm going to talk to them about. Also, I'm not in the mood to do this podcast right now. I don't feel like it, but I'm going to stay consistent with it no matter what. So just get ready for whatever the fuck this is. I don't know if you can hear Aaliyah panting as well, but she's doing that. It's humid. It's really humid. I prefer the humidity to the dry, angry heat of Riverside, California. But I must admit, I think I'm ready for fall, which is coming soon. I think it's like maybe a week, 2 more weeks of this hot, humid ass cicada weather, and then the leaves will start changing. I'll start wearing jackets and mittens. Oh, I'm fucking excited for that. And anyway, so I'm starting this job tomorrow, and I'm trying to do this thing where I don't not envision. What's the word? Imagine. Yeah? Do you agree, Aaliyah? I'm trying to do this thing where I don't constantly imagine what I think is going to happen. Because I think that's been an issue. Like, I would imagine what Chicago was like, or I'd imagine what it would be like being an interpreter or doing stand-up or whatever. And it's never what you actually think it's going to be. Everyone that envisions themselves doing stand-up thinks that their stupid little story about them losing a tooth on Christmas, and they get up there and then they tell this story, and then everyone's going to think they're hilarious, and then an agent's going to come from the back and say, you got moxie, kid. You got spunk. Let me take you out to Hollywood and show you the Tom Cruises and the Leonardo DiCaprios. And that's not what you envision when you picture doing stand-up? There's this, I don't know, there's this thing, like, I think it's like controlling expectations or whatever. It's something to do with the Buddhism shit. So I've been trying not to dwell on what I think is going to be like, or picture how it could go wrong. That was a little bit of an anxiety provoking thing for me. You do that where you are thinking about this thing that you're going to be doing soon you've never done before, and you think of the worst possible scenario. In my head, the worst possible scenario. Okay. Worst possible scenario of me being a substitute teacher tomorrow. I'm going to be doing a middle school. I go in. This is the worst possible scenario. I go in, and I introduce myself, and then I realize my fly's down. And then all the kids start laughing at me. And then a school shooting happens. Hands down, worst possible scenario to have them doubled on top of each other. It's one thing to have the school shooting. It's one thing to have your fly down. To have both of them in coinciding in a parallel 1-2 punch of a day, that would be the worst possible thing ever. So let's knock on wood that doesn't happen. You know what's fucked up is I'm joking, and that's not outside of the realm of reality. When I was working at interpreting jobs back in California, we would have school shooting drills. For those of you who mostly millennials and Gen X, if you haven't been in a school, K through 12 school in some odd years, I would fucking hope, unless it's your job and you need to be there, there's no reason for you to be hanging out outside the monkey bars. You don't need to be doing that. But you go to these schools and they have school shooting drills where we get under the table and we turn off the lights and we don't answer the door for any victims at all. That's part of the rule. Is it doesn't matter if you hear your friend screaming for help outside the door, you don't open the door. Which is some all-American individualism right there. I get the logic. The logic is like the gunman can have that person, they can be holding that person hostage. You open the door and, well, now they got everybody in the room. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, apparently. But there's something kind of cold and fucked up about hearing your friend scream bloody murder outside, and you just don't. You just, I'm sorry, Kyle. Like, it's got you. You fucked up. You were in the wrong place at the wrong time. Maybe you shouldn't have been taking a shit the moment the school shooting went down. So yeah, let's hope that doesn't happen. I'm excited. I'm really excited. I think one of the reasons why interpreting wasn't a good match for me is because you can't, when you're interpreting, you can't be in your own, like, you can't just be centered or present. Like, you're constantly, your brain is working in this weird way where you're taking in information in one language and you're translating it. You're not even doing it literally. You're interpreting it. When someone says something and I'm interpreting it, I have to grab that information, put it through this little mechanism in my brain, little cogs and steam pipes. I'm just picture one of those like 1920s industrial revolution buildings inside of my brain, and it's cranking and it's moving, and guys are taking the words and they're tweaking the words, making sure that it makes sense in English and vice versa. And you do that shit for hours and hours, and then your hands get tired, get carpal tunnel and shit. It's just not fun. But and like, I don't like having to speak as other people because I'm pretentious and other people's words are stupid to me. Like, when I would do my job, I would have to be paying attention and listening, and people can't speak. Not to say that this is going all that well. Like, I'm, is what the pot calling the kettle black a little bit. Like, this podcast is me working on another angle of speaking. But Jesus Christ, like, pay attention. Listen to a board meeting one day. They have them on live. They put them on live on YouTube. Board meetings and school council meetings and everything to discuss budget plans and listen to parents argue about COVID and whether their kids should wear a mask or not wear a mask and all that shit. Listen to how dry and boring and repetitive those conversations are, and imagine actually having to pay attention for your job and like translating it to another language. If you speak Spanish, like if you're fluent in Spanish, listen to those fucking meetings that go on for like 3 hours, and it's like, all right, budget plan number 2.68-B. Are we going to invest money in the parking lots? All that say yay, raise your hands. All that say nay, don't raise your hands. All right, we have a split vote. We're going to now do a debate on if we, for 27-QH27B, if we're going to repave the parking lot. And then two old people argue about repaving the parking lot. That's where your fucking tax dollars are going to, just so you know. I'm going to start making myself angry, and I don't want to do that. I want to have a good day today. Also, I forgot to write down the tarot card reading that I said I would talk about. Yeah, it's good. It's good. I'm excited for it. Um, and we'll see what happens. I'm sure next week I'll have plenty of shit to say about it. As of right now, I'm going with the flow. But I got real rain. I didn't know what real rain was, which makes me incredibly concerned about about winter. But again, we'll get there when we get there. I didn't know what real rain was. Like it started raining today, and it was just raining. It wasn't drizzling, it was raining. You know, if you were outside, you'd get wet, you would know it was raining. The pavement, you could smell the water mixed with the gravel in the pavement, and it was dark and cloudy, and it rained. Last week it poured. Like if you stepped, it was like a shower, like a literal, like getting under a shower, and your body was just soaked in water. And I think I get how weather can be kind of unifying. I know I was talking to KJ about this. He was saying that people in California are spoiled because the weather is always nice. I wouldn't describe the weather as nice in California. I think especially Riverside, California. It's fucking hot and it's uncomfortable and it's too much of the same thing. But it doesn't necessarily deter you from doing day-to-day activities. Like being like the heat, being sunny still allows you to navigate outside for the most part. You're gonna be hot. You're not gonna feel good. You're gonna get a sunburn probably, but you can be outside and it doesn't affect your ability to drive or ride a bike or like hold. I had fucking donuts. Dude, the food out here is great. I had donuts and the water just soaked through the bag. I was basically holding two donuts in the rain. And so the weather, it affects things like that. So you like the bus, I was waiting for the bus, so I'm like taking cover with everyone else. And the bus comes and, we try to run to the bus, but then we're all in line outside the bus just getting rained on. You just have to stand there. And we go into the bus and it's like especially quiet. I mean, people aren't chit-chatting on the bus normally. They're not exactly striking up conversation. Oh, you're going to Damon Street, are you? Oh, amazing. I'm actually going to Wilcott. These are real streets. I'm learning the streets, guys. Nobody is this friendly in the city. Nobody wants to talk to you. No one wants to interact with you. But there's like a deafening silence when people weren't expecting it to rain and now everyone's soaked through all of their clothes and we're all sitting on this bus cold and annoyed. And there is something unifying about that. It is hard to be racist when you're wet, is what I've learned. In sunny California, see, when it's hot outside, it just it boils up the anger. You can get mad about things easily. When you're walking around and the rubber on your shoe starts to melt and get stuck to the pavement, when you need extra shoes for your dog so their paws don't get burnt on the concrete, when it's that type of hot, you're just open to being angry about shit. And like letting your anger just be pushed forward towards anything and everything around you. And from my experience, it's racism. It is very easy to be racist when it is hot and sunny. It's pretty hard to be racist when it's cold and wet and you just want to get home. You don't care who you're sitting next to or who you have to, you just don't give a shit. You just want to get home and get out of these clothes that are sticking to your bodies. Your nipples are poking out. Everyone's nipples are poking out, man. This was a no warning rain. Like no one was prepared for it. And there was this girl wearing all white who just accepted it. She was clearly from Chicago because she knew what it was. As she was walking, she didn't try to walk any faster. She didn't look for cover. She wasn't like going to go into the CVS to get an umbrella to try to stop a little bit of the rain. Nope. She was like, look, I'm basically walking home naked. You could see every goddamn thing, every little inch, every curve, every divot. So, and it was uncomfortable. I can't deny that it wasn't uncomfortable. But when you get home, there's this, and you shed. You don't take your clothes off when you're covered in water like this. You shed your clothes. You're like a python, just when you shed all of those clothes and you take a shower or you lie down or whatever, you feel accomplished, and it just feels earned. So, the weather aspect of things, I'm still okay. I'm still looking forward to it. Ooh, let's see. I wonder how it's so. I with this new job change, I'm gonna be staying in the city to do my job. Thank Christ. Because with the interpreting thing, I would have had to basically Chicago. I'm in Chicago, but I was about to be working in Illinois. I was about to have this long ass drive every day out of the city into the sticks, into the suburbs, into the burbs, and so now that I don't have to do that, and I'm trying to navigate the city a little more. My girlfriend just got a bike, and because I'm cool, I ordered an electric skateboard. I sold my car in California, and I used that money to get an electric skateboard, a good one, not one of those shitty toy ones that I got and wasted money on before coming out here. I don't know. It wasn't a waste of money because I got to test it out. I got to feel what a quality electric skateboard would be relative to a children's toy that you would get at a Toys R Us if the Toys R Us weren't all shut down because Amazon's taken over everything. Aaliyah's staring out the window at something hard. She's probably want to attack a squirrel or something. But yeah, I ordered this electric skateboard that will hopefully come soon. We'll see. I don't know how it's going to navigate in the snow or the rain, so we'll have to cross that bridge when I get there. But I just keep getting, like, the buses keep stopping at 1 a.m. and I have to keep walking miles and miles. So I think having this little skateboard thing will make my life a little more convenient. But the public transit, I'm starting to learn how to navigate a little better. If you told me to go to the Lincoln Lodge right now without having to Google Maps it, I could do that very easily. I know exactly where to go. Same with North Bar. Are there any other? Those are the two that I remember. It's tough because the train will take you to, like, there will be a stop called Western on the blue line, but then you also have a Western stop on like the red line and the pink line, and they're in different parts of the city. Like that one street just goes straight for so long. I've only been here a month, so I'm figuring it out. Hey, don't judge me. I'm learning my sense of navigation. East, west, south, southwest, northwest, south, northwest, north, south, southwest. I'm figuring it out. I'm proud of myself, actually, for, being able to navigate. I love public transit, except I know I talked about this last episode. I really need to work on the eye contact still and just being a less approachable person. Apparently there is something about me where people just want to interact for some goddamn reason. I had a guy who was asking me for directions, and we ended up going the same direction for a while. So then we got stuck in that weird, like, all right, I guess, what do you do for work? And I guess he was going to a rehab, and then he also asked if he could buy weed from me, so we'll see how that goes for him. He was walking around with a trash bag full of clothes, and it was ridiculous. But he was fine. But on the way home from this mic like 2 nights ago, I sat down on the subway. I looked to my left, and there's this guy tending to this wound on his leg, and the skin on his leg was like melting off. It was disgusting. It was bubbling off. It looked like a chemical burn. Like, Terminator 2, when Arnold Schwarzenegger's face is just half melted off. You can't see the robot skeleton underneath. If I could see his robot skeleton, that'd be crazy. But you can't see the robot skeleton underneath, but it's melting off. That's what it looked like. Like the top part had crusted over, looked like pizza crust on the top, and he had like gauze wrapped around it, but I'm pretty sure there was exposed bone. He must have had some sort of Saharan bug infestation or something. Like it is infected. It had boils and it was slimy, and he had this big duffel bag full of like gauze and medical equipment. By the way, this guy was not a doctor. Not even close. This guy's probably been prescribed illegal drugs from a doctor. Maybe this guy's older brother who was successful was a doctor, and he was the black sheep of the family who'd never amounted to nothing. This motherfucker was not a doctor. I don't know where he got doctor supplies from, but he had all this gauze and stuff, and he's just he's picking at it and he's fucking with it. The whole ride home, I'm like trying not to stare at this madness that is happening. Like, this guy is going to lose his life. I promise you, within 3 months, I'm going to see him walking around. He's going to be in one of those crutches, like those old, not the good ones, not the plastic crutches. He's going to have one of those wooden crutches, like the one wooden crutch that you get when you're in a zombie apocalypse and you just need to grab something from a thrift store. Like, he's going to have that and a missing leg. I fucking promise you. There's no way that leg is not getting amputated. Or I guess maybe the bacteria will kill him. I don't know. The city is making me a much colder person, I guess. It was just fucking gross. It was gross, and it was like aggressive, man. And I think I did a good job at ignoring it to the best of my ability. But that was something else. But I'm getting used to shit out here. I'm liking this. I'm really, really liking this. I think, and I'm taking inventory of all the shit that made me miserable, and I'm just trying to expunge it. Did you hear that word? That was a good word. Let me repeat that word for you. Expunge. Whew. Ugh. Does he have a college degree? Did he get a bachelor's in mass media and what? Communication. So we learned words like expunge, exfoliate, extramarital, X gonna give it to you. Oh, Jesus Christ. And there goes my phone. No, I mean, it's good. Like, so with this interpreting stuff, I've gotten rid of that. And again, crossing my fingers that substituting will, keep me paying my bills without having to be miserable every day. And there's a lot of flexibility in that. I can decide I don't want to work, which feels cool. So I'm working that out. Stand up is chugging along, I think I'm getting friendlier with people. I think it is and was smart that I kind of hang back and just try not to bother people, which I'm going to continue to do. But I'm meeting people, my skill, that was the other my skill. Before coming out here, one of the things I was worried about was like, am I going to be considered shitty relative to all the other comics? And I don't think so. And I don't think that's cocky to say either. I feel like I am good. Did you hear that pregnant pause? I had to really take in that statement and figure out if if this is ego or if I have this insecurity that not letting me say that. But no, I'm coming out here, coming from Riverside. I knew I was a big fish in a small pond, and I needed to go to a big, I guess, lake now, not ocean. This is a lake. I'm near a lake. Lake Michigan. And fuck you, Lake Michigan. We should be Lake Chicago or Lake Illinois. I'm just going to go full Chicago. I'm going to only wear Cubs gear. That's what they wear out here, by the way. Nothing but Cubs gear. Cubs gear, I've seen a little bit of the socks, red, white, I don't know. Socks, not spelled like sock properly, S-O-X. Blah, blah, the socks. They wear a lot of Cubs gear out here. Like I'm literally looking outside my apartment right now, and I see this park, and it has the Cubs logo, and it's like they don't practice there. I'm pretty confident the Cubs are not coming out to this park in goddamn Pilsen around these kids to go practice. What am I talking about? Being out here feels good. Chicago. Oh, my skill. Yeah, I think I'm good. I think I am good at stand-up comedy. I don't think I'm mediocre. I don't think I'm okay. I think I'm good at this. Obviously, I need to get better and I need to improve. There's plenty of stuff that I need to do, but I am good at stand-up comedy, and I think it's recognized for the most part now. I mean, the people out here, the people in Riverside recognize it. Y'all niggas recognize. Y'all recognize this game. You recognize this skill. I want to make an and one mixtape of all of my clips of me doing stand-up. But out here, it seems like people or comics are recognizing like, oh, okay, he is good at stand-up comedy. And that feels good. I think if I just keep chugging away, just keep doing these mics and do well at them, then eventually it'll work itself out. Okay, the last thing. So I went to the Pilsen Art House for a mic, and I fucked up a little bit. So the Pilsen Art House, it's like for IE people only. Back to the Grind. Picture Back to the Grind, but Chicago. So it's poetry, it's people rapping, and expressing their feelings. And I get up there, and the host is like, all right, Aaron Chase. And I get up there, and there was no explanation that I'm doing stand-up. So I immediately started just fucking around and joking and stuff. And midway through my set, I was like, oh, wait a minute. You guys have no idea what I'm doing. When you don't prep someone that you're doing stand-up comedy, you sound like an asshole. Like when people are in this like no claps, all snaps when you do well mindset, and you start making fun of shit and being kind of mean, you come off like a complete dick. But I I was doing my set there or whatever, and halfway through I realized like I fucked up. I needed to let them know I'm doing stand-up comedy, and I needed to adjust some stuff with my energy with them. So next time I go back there, I'm definitely going to do that. Learning experience is fine. But they also had tarot card readings there, so I'm sure you can kind of imagine the type of place this is. Tarot cards, crystals, a lot of flowy shit everywhere. Things being spray painted, weed. They had bartenders with plastic cups. That's some barbecue shit. When you got a plastic cup, plastic and paper. Plastic is one step above the paper cup. If you're mixing goddamn margaritas with paper cups, you just drink it straight from the bottle. But they had this tarot card reading stuff. First of all, before I get into my reading, my feelings on all of that is, I don't know. I don't believe in it the way that my girlfriend, or literally every girlfriend I have ever had, believes in it. I look at it more as they're giving me information, and then my subconscious or my I'm supposed to interpret it however the fuck I want to interpret it. I don't think that the cards themselves are magical necessarily. I don't think that the crystals are emanating this super energy that will lead me to one direction or another. I don't necessarily think that Saturn is beaming down Saturn vibes and is putting me in a particular mood. What I think it is I take in this information and then I interpret it how I want to interpret it. And at the same time, being open-minded about it. Like, not being a dick. I'm here. Might as well be open-minded. That's what I'm trying to do out here. I'm just being open-minded, trying new shit, taking in new things or whatever. So she picks three cards. One was a person who was in between like two sticks, two bamboo trees, two broom handles or something. Then the middle one was like 7 or 9 cups or goblets filled with like liquids. Then the far left one was a guy who was balancing himself on 4 different rocks while like trying to protect gold under him, and in front of him was not a pentagram but was like a hexagram or something. It was looked like a box made of sticks. This is sounding really crazy right now. If you don't know the names of the cards and you just describe the cards, it sounds like what someone experiences on acid but turned into Pokemon card form. But regardless, I got these 3 cards. From what I remember, if I understand it correctly, the first one on my far right was about art and my art and my passions. The one on the far left was about finances and work, and the one in the middle is about expectation and balance. The one on the right was with the art was something essentially like just let it flow. Essentially, like do your art, do your passion, do all that stuff, and let it come to you. Then the stuff on the far left was the finances, which is basically protect your money, save your money, be good with your finances, and then the middle was your expectations of both. And again, I'm all about that yin yang shit. It's all about balance for me, and so I think if I'm interpreting this correctly, my expectations for my art, I need to be patient with. I needed to chill out, just let the art happen. And then my expectations with money is I need to not overwork myself. And I need to find the yin yang, the balance between these two dichotomies. How do I make money for myself and stay financially stable while also doing my art, letting it flow, having fun, and enjoying myself, and not trying to rush either processes? And that's how I've interpreted it. And I don't think that's a bad interpretation to take. I don't think that's a bad mentality to look at things. So that's what I got out of the tarot card reading. It wasn't bad. It was cool. I don't think it doesn't feel as mystical as it feels psychological and practical. I don't know, man. But we're at 32 minutes, so I'll just wrap this up. Oh. Okay, let me give you something specific to do for me so you can comment in. I'm not gonna let this go. I'm going to find comments and emails. I will get them. Can you get, if you listen to this point, tell me a pizza place I need to hit up, and I will try to go to that pizza place and tell you how it is. Because right now I've been going to Demo's over and over again. I love Demo's; it's delicious. But I need to branch out. I need to try new shit, and this is a good way to inspire me to try new shit. All right. Till next time.